Hi, I just wanted to go over just a few things before we carry on. So, one of the things I wanted to go through was understanding our tens and our units, which is something I just really feel like we need to get a grasp on. So, just a quick one. If we was doing 7 times 12 equals, and we're not sure what it equals, the first thing to do to understand why we times it by 10 and then we times it by 2 is to understand this number itself here, 12. So with the number 12, you have your tens and your ones. So you have 110, which is why we times it by 10, and we have two ones, which is why we times it by 2. So for example, we would do 7 times the 110, which equals 70, and then we would do 7 times the two ones, which equals 14, then you would be able to carefully, using column addition, add it together. 0 add 4 is 4, 7 add 1 is 8, and your answer to 7 times 12 equals 84. That was just a quick thing I just wanted to have a look at. One of the other things I just wanted to cover was if we are doing it by 11. So let's say we were doing 6 times 11. If you take the number 11 itself and split it into tens and ones, you've got 1 10 and 1 1. So to work out 7 times 11, you would do, 6 times 11, you would do 6 times 10 because you have 110 and that equals 60. And then you would actually times 6, the number itself, by 1. So 6 times 1 equals 6, and you would add it together. Remember, the 6 is going into the units column, and you would do 0 add 6 is 6, and 6 add nothing equals 6. I hope that's helpful, just as we carry on to the next part of the video. Hi, Wonder Class. So I'm just going to go through some of the things which were mentioned this morning in our Teams meeting when we were going through maths. So this should be a little bit more of some help for you guys. So over here, I'm just going to show you some of the things which you said. So 6 times 11. Now, I'm just going to focus to begin with on timesing by 11 and what we need to do in order to do this. So the first thing which you need to do when you're timesing by 11, a method that you could use is to do 6 times 10. So you times the number itself by 10 first. So 6 times 10 equals 60. And then you add what you're timesing 11 by to this number. So 60, add 6. And if you work it out, like I mentioned, ensuring that you put your tens and ones to make sure when you're adding through column addition, it's all in the right columns. 0 add 6 is 6, and 6 add nothing is 6. So your answer essentially is 66. I'm just going to show you another one underneath. Actually, no, I'm going to rub that one out, sorry. Okay, so let's try and have a look at 2 times 11. So if I'm doing 2 times 11, the first thing I'm going to do when I'm timesing by 11, I'm not sure if you can see that color pen, sorry. 2 times 11 equals, so the first thing I would do is do 2 times 10. So 2 times 10, everybody should know, is 20. And then because I'm timesing 11 by 2, I'm going to add 2 onto 20. So 20 add 2, remember your tens and your ones, equals 22. So this is just a quick way of understanding how to do our 11 times table. So what you'll basically need to remember is you times it by 10, and then you add the number you're timesing, the number you are timesing by. So you times it by 10 first, and because you're timesing 11 by 2, you add the 2. Okay, I'm just going to finally go on to the last one. Okay, so there we have it, 5 times 11. Okay, so the first thing I need to do 5 times 11 is 5 times 10, which equals 50. And because I'm timesing it by 5, 11 by 5, I'm going to add 5 on. So 0 add 5 is 5, and 5 add 5 is 5 add nothing is 5, sorry. So our answer is 55. So 11 times 5 times 11 or 11 times 5 is 55. Great. Okay, now I'm going to move on to our 12. So 12 was a little bit different, how we carry out the method for working out the 12 times table. So let's go through that again, because lots of you were saying, some of you were saying it's easy because you've obviously learnt your times tables, and some of you were still finding it a little bit hard. So the method for timesing by 12 is you times the number by 10 and then by 2. So if I'm doing 4 times 12, hopefully that's visible on your screen at the moment. So 4 times 12. So what I would do first is I would do 4 times 10, which equals 40. And then I would do the number, which we're timesing by, which is 4. Instead of doing like 11 times tables, where you added it on, you're going to times it by 2. So 4 times 10 equals 40. And then 4 times 2 equals 8. So then I'm going to add it together. 0 plus 8 equals 8. And 4 add nothing is 4. So your answer is 48. So 4 times 12 equals 48. So you always times it by 2. Okay, let's move on to the next part. So 7 times 12 equals, the first thing I need to do is times 7 by 10. So 7 times 10 equals 70. And the next thing I need to do after that is 7 times 2, which equals 14. And if you look carefully how I'm laying it out, it just makes it easier for me to add them together. So 0 add 4 is 4, and 7 add 1 is 8. So my answer is 84. So 7 times 12 equals 84. And finally, I'm just going to do the last one, and that is 6 times 12. So the first thing I need to do is times 6, the number that I'm actually timesing by 12, by 10. So 6 times 10 equals 60. And then I need to do 6 times 2. And I know that 6 times 2 is 12. And then I need to add it together. So 0 add 2 is 2. And 6 add 1 is 7. So there we have it. The answer is 72. 6 times 12 equals 72. Okay, I hope you guys have found this helpful, and I will see you in the next video. See you later, everybody. Hi, everybody from Wonder Class. So today is our math lesson. We're going to begin by doing our arithmetic. So I've got a little challenge for you. What I want you to try doing at home is each time you carry out your arithmetic, I would like you to time yourself. So every day when you complete your arithmetic, time yourself, maybe write down your score, how long it's taking you to complete it, and then see if each day you can beat your time. So remember, you can pause the video and then press play when you're ready to start our lesson. So in today's lesson, we are going to be learning how to multiply by 3 numbers. Now this sounds like it's going to be a challenge, but believe you me, it's quite simple. So this is called the associative law. When adding, it doesn't matter how we group the numbers together if we are adding 3 numbers. And it's also the same when we are multiplying. It doesn't matter how we group the numbers together because we can still get the same answer. For example, if we were timesing 2 times 4 times 3, it would be the same if we was doing 4 times 3 times 2. You would still end up with the same answer. So if you did 2 times 4, which is 8, and you times 8 by 3, which is 24. It's also the same as if you did 4 times 3, which is 12, and then times 12 by 2, which is going to be 24 as well. So whichever order you multiply it in, you will still get the same answers, given that you answer them correctly in the first tip. So let's have a look at what we're going to be doing in today's lesson. So if you have a look at these counters, this is called an array. So I am just going to get my pen out. Hopefully it's going to work today. Let's have a look. Oh, yes, it is. Great. So here I have 2 arrays. And in my array, I have how many are going across? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 going across, and I'm going to times that by, let's see how many are going down. 1, 2, 3. So 6 times 3 equals, how many do I have? So 6 times 3 equals 18. And how many arrays do I have? I have 2 arrays. So essentially your question is 6 times 3 times, oh, sorry for these lines, times 2 equals. So in order to work this out, my answer will be 6 times 3, which is 18, and then 18 times by 2, which is going to be 36. So it doesn't matter which way round I do it. I could also do, if we look down here, I could do 3 times 2, which equals 6. And then I could do 6 times 6, which equals 36. So no matter what way round you write it, you will still come out with the same answer, given that you get the multiplication correct in the first place. Okay, over here, let's have a look at the yellow arrays. How many arrays do I have? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 arrays, so I know I'm timesing something by 4, so I could write 4 times, let's see how many are going across. 1, 2, 3. So 4 times 3. And how many are going down? 1, 2 times 2. So I could work this out any way I like. I could do 4 times 3 first of all. So I know that 4 times 3 is 12. And then I could do 12 times 2, which equals 24. I could also do it where I do 3 times 2, which equals 6, and then 6 times 4, which equals 24. So no matter which way round you times it, you will still end up with the same answer. The brackets just help us to know what we're going to be timesing first. So if I put my brackets here, I know I'm doing 4 times 3, and with the answer, I'm then going to times that answer by 2. Let's have a look at these blue counters. So how many have we got that go? How many counters do we have altogether? How many sets, sorry. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So I know I'm timesing it by 3. So I'm going to write 3 times. Let's see how many we've got. 1, 2. There's 2 going across. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 going down. So it's up to you where you put your brackets. You could put your brackets here. So what's 2 times 4? 2 times 4 is 8. And 8 times 3 equals 24. I'm really sorry about my writing. I'm trying my best, but the mouse isn't quite working properly today. So what do you notice about the 2 calculations? Is there another way to organize the digits to get the same answer? Well, yes, as you've noticed, even if you organize the digits into a different order, you will still get the same answer given that you correctly multiply from the first place. So here you have some calculations to complete. You can use counters or pictorial representations. This is totally up to you. So you might want to draw an array. For example, if I was doing 2 times 3, 2 times 3 times 2, my array will look like this. So I'll have 3 going down. And I would have 2 of these. So I've got 3 going down, which shows this 3. I have 2 going across. And how many times do I have these arrays? I have the arrays twice, so I'm going to do it 2 times. And that should help you to work this one out. So that's another way of using pictorial representation. So remember to pause the video, practice them yourself, show your working out as well. I'm posting them on Tapestry, so I'll be able to see just how you're getting on with this. Just another thing to add, you might want to use pasta at home, you might have Lego blocks, anything you want that's objects if you don't have counters, just to help you to find out the answers to these questions. Good luck, everybody. Okay, here is a little bit of a challenge question which I need you to answer. So Ellie is asked to work out the calculation of 5 times 6 times 2. Which way around do you think she should multiply the numbers, and discuss why you think this? So it's totally up to you what you think. Remember, like we said, it doesn't matter which order you put the numbers in, you will still end up with the same answer. So let's say, for example, we did do 5 times 6 times 2. So we're multiplying the biggest numbers first. So 5 times 6 times 2, I will put my brackets here. So 5 times 6 is 30, and 30 times 2 is the same as, when you times by 2, it's the same as doubling. So 30 plus 30, or 30 times 2, or 30 lots of 2, your answer would be 60. Let's see if we did it a different way. I'm just going to change my coloured pen just to highlight the difference. So let's see if we did 6. If we did 5 times 2, first of all, and then we times it by 6, let's see what our answer will be. I'll put my brackets over here. So 5 times 2 is 10, and 10 times 2 is 6. So 5 times 2 is 10, sorry. 10 times 6, sorry, is going to be 60. So as you can see, when we organize the numbers into a different way, we still get the same answer, given that we multiplied them correctly in the first place. So it actually doesn't matter which order you multiply them. However, looking at the red one, it is easier to do it this way, but it's also easier to do it the other way. It's really up to you. So this is a little activity for you to try at home. You can do it on your own, or maybe if somebody's at home to help you. If not, it's okay. Have a little look at these calculations and see which way would you prefer to multiply them, and you can also have a try with these. Remember to pause the video when you're ready, and when you're ready to carry on, you can press play. And finally, here is your challenge work to complete at home. So you've got 4 challenges on here, which I would like you to have a go at. Remember, when you're completing your maths work, to really make sure you're carefully writing your numbers, you're making sure it's very neat and it's very concise, so it's helping you to really understand what you're doing. Okay, so your first task is to complete the multiplications, and there are an array on the PowerPoint for you to be able to have a look at. Challenge number 2 is to also complete the multiplications again. You might like to use resources, or you might like to show you're working out using pictorial methods. Your third challenge is using some digit cards to create multiplications and work out the answers. How many different multiplications can you create, and what do you notice about all of your answers? That's a really interesting question. What do you notice about all of your answers when you get to question number 3? And finally, you have a 4th challenge question, which you can have a read. Kim rolls 3 6-sided dice. The product of her number is 60. What numbers could she have rolled, and how many different ways could Kim have made 60? You can talk about it to a partner if you have one. Have a go yourself if you have a dice at home. If not, that's not to worry. So remember to watch the video carefully, go back if you're not sure, pause it when you're completing your activity, and finally upload your work onto Tapestry for me to have a look at. Enjoy, good luck, and keep safe. Take care, everybody, and see you in the next lesson.